The world stood still as a wall crumbled. On November 9, 1989, the Berlin Wall, which had separated East and West Berlin for 28 years, fell, marking the end of an era of division. Over 3.5 million East Germans fled to the West by 1990, and this historic moment was a pivotal point in the Cold War, which lasted for 45 years. The wall's fall symbolized freedom and sparked revolutions across Eastern Europe, leading to the dissolution of the USSR in 1991. This was a monumental shift in global politics, changing lives forever. The news spread with incredible speed. People everywhere watched their televisions. They saw history unfolding live. This was not just bricks falling, it was a potent symbol crumbling, a symbol of oppression and Cold War. The world felt a sense of awe. A chapter was decisively closing. Hope for a new future emerged. Many wondered what came next. The Cold War had been very long. Two great superpowers were opposed: the United States and Soviet Union. Their ideologies clashed constantly. Democracy faced off against communism. Europe itself was split in two. Germany became a central battleground. Berlin was a divided city. The tension was always very high. After World War II ended, the victorious Allies divided Germany. The country was split into zones. Berlin, the capital, was also split. It became 4 distinct sectors. The Soviets controlled East Berlin. The West was for the US, UK, and France. This city lay deep inside East Germany, a unique and precarious position. It set the stage for conflict. Ideological battle lines were drawn. Communism was in the East. Democracy was in the West. The Iron Curtain fell across Europe. Winston Churchill spoke of this. He warned of Soviet expansion. The Soviets wanted a buffer zone to protect from Western influence. The West aimed for containment to stop communism from spreading. A crisis called brain drain occurred. Many East Germans fled to the West. They sought freedom from restriction. They also wanted better lives. Professionals and skilled workers left. Doctors, teachers, engineers departed. East Germany's economy suffered badly. The government knew it could not last. The wall was a grim, deadly structure. It was made of concrete slabs. Watchtowers stood guard over it. Barbed wire added to defenses. Anti-vehicle trenches were dug deep. Guard dogs patrolled the perimeter. A death strip ran alongside it. This area was barren and dangerous. Escape attempts were highly perilous. Many people died trying to cross. Life in East Berlin was restricted. Personal freedoms were very limited. The Stasi, or secret police, watched. They monitored citizens closely. Conformity was strongly expected. Everyone had to follow party lines. Consumer goods were often scarce. Long queues formed for basic items. Life felt gray and controlled. People yearned for more openness. West Berlin offered a stark contrast. It was an island of capitalism, surrounded by communist East Germany. The city was vibrant and free. It was also bustling with activity. Supported strongly by Western allies, it stood as a beacon of hope for some East Germans looking over. Mikhail Gorbachev brought new ideas. He became Soviet leader in 1985. He introduced a policy of glasnost. This meant more openness in society. He also started perestroika for reform. This aimed at economic restructuring. These reforms signaled major changes. The tight Soviet grip began to loosen. Hope for change grew in Eastern Europe. People sensed a shift in power. People started to find their voice. Protest movements grew much bolder. They gained courage and momentum. Poland's solidarity movement inspired many. It showed change was possible. Czechoslovakia saw large demonstrations. East Germans also began to protest. They gathered in cities like Leipzig. They demanded more personal freedom and the right to travel abroad. Hungary opened its border wide. This happened in May of 1989. It was a very key moment. Hungary dismantled its border fence. The fence was with Austria. Austria was a neutral Western nation. East Germans could now escape easily. Section 5, November 9, 1989, the night the wall came down. Günter Schabowski made a mistake. He was an East German official. He held a press conference that day. It was meant to be routine. He announced new travel regulations. He seemed unsure of the details. Mumbling, he read from his notes. He said they were effective immediately. As far as I know, he added, this was a historic misstatement. East Berliners heard this news. They watched it on television. They were initially very skeptical. Was this really true, they wondered? Then thousands went to checkpoints. At various points along the wall, they demanded to be let across. The atmosphere grew very tense. Crowds swelled with hopeful people. They wanted to see for themselves. The border guards were overwhelmed. They had received no clear orders. They tried to contact superiors, but the situation evolved too fast. The crowds grew much larger. People were chanting and pushing. Section 6. Euphoria and Unity. Celebrations at the unbreached barrier. The scenes of joy were unforgettable. East and West Berliners finally met. Many had not seen family for years. Strangers embraced each other warmly. Champagne corks popped very loudly. People climbed and danced on the wall. It became a massive street party. The celebration lasted for days. A city was reuniting itself. The atmosphere was pure euphoria. Mauerspekte appeared on the scene. This German word means wallpeckers. People brought hammers and chisels and any tools they could find. They chipped away at the concrete, breaking off pieces of the wall. These became treasured souvenir items, symbols of their newfound freedom. The sound of chipping echoed widely. It was the sound of liberation. Global media captured this history. Television cameras broadcast events live. Around the entire world, people watched. They saw these images in amazement. Section 7. The domino effect, the walls fall and the Cold War's end. Revolutions spread with great speed. The wall's fall inspired many others. People in nearby countries watched. Czechoslovakia had its Velvet Revolution. It was a peaceful transition of power. Romania overthrew its harsh dictator. That change was much more violent. Bulgaria saw political changes too. Communist regimes crumbled very fast. One after another they fell. Soviet influence in Europe waned. Moscow chose not to intervene. Mikhail Gorbachev allowed these changes. He did not send in Soviet tanks. This was different from past crises. The Warsaw Pact military alliance weakened. Its members were gaining independence. Soviet power was clearly diminishing. Its vast empire was collapsing. The Cold War balance shifted. German reunification was soon achieved. East and West Germany became one. This happened in October of 1990, less than a year after the wall fell. Section 8. A New World Order. Broader implications for global politics. The global balance of power shifted. The United States of America emerged as the world's sole superpower then. This was true for a period. The bipolar world order had ended with the Soviet Union gone. New international challenges soon arose. The world was more complex than just two blocs opposing. New dynamics started to form. Democracy saw a significant expansion. Many former Soviet bloc republics and other Eastern European nations embraced democratic forms of government. They also adopted market economies, moving away from state central planning. This was a major, difficult transition. It brought new freedoms to millions, but also economic hardship for some. The changes were profound. NATO's role underwent transformation. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization had been a strong defensive alliance, formed against the Soviet Union and its Warsaw Pact allies. Now its main purpose was debated. Some questioned if it was needed. It later expanded its membership, including former Warsaw Pact countries. Its mission evolved over time. Section 9. Echoes of Freedom. The enduring legacy of the wall's fall. The wall's fall is remembered well. It stands as a triumph of the persistent human spirit over tyranny and harsh division. It clearly shows that people power can bring about truly great change. Ordinary citizens made a difference. Their courage changed the world. This is a lasting, vital lesson for all generations to follow. It had a global impact on freedom. It inspired many movements for rights and for democracy around the world. The images from Berlin were powerful. They resonated with many people, especially those who yearned for freedom in their own oppressed countries. The fall showed change was achievable. It gave hope to dissidents everywhere. The desire for liberty is universal. The wall teaches us important lessons for the present and the future. Freedom is not ever guaranteed. It must be actively defended always. Deep divisions can be overcome through persistent dialogue and courage and a commitment to understanding. Building bridges is better than walls. These are timeless, crucial messages.